Okay, the board is back in session at 6 o'clock. Just ask for any additions, corrections, or deletions to the agenda tonight. Okay, no additions or corrections or deletions. So it's recommended the Board of Education approve the following, approve the agenda as set forth in item 4B. So I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Jonathan, second.
I'll second.
Tim? Should be no discussion, I don't think. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dufaw,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Awesome. Item number 5, retiree spotlights.
Good evening, board members, distinguished guests. I vaguely remember when accepting this position that one of the things that the board requested was to make sure that we bring back the tradition of honoring our retirees. One of my first encounters with Mr. Dufaw was a bell that he brought in that his wife was gifted from the teachers of Monroe because the district had stopped meeting that tradition. So tonight, after a short pause, we wanted to take time to honor our retirees. Those retirees will be presented by their principals this night. And while all were invited, some could not make it. But since we do live stream and record our meetings, we thought it would be appropriate to recognize them as such. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our associate principal, Mr. Larry Kozlowski, who will talk about our retiree, Gary Combs.
Okay. Tonight we're here to celebrate a truly remarkable milestone and honor a man who has dedicated his life to one of the most demanding, rewarding, and impactful professions on earth, education. Gary has spent 44 years altogether in education, but more importantly, the 19 of those last years have been here at New Richmond. Gary has served as an administrator, a teacher, and a member of our virtual academy. As a member of our virtual academy, his graduation rate was 99%, so that's pretty good. Gary started his educational journey in Kentucky, and he also attended an administrator academy at the University of Cincinnati. He did 8 years at CPS before transitioning into leadership, serving as assistant principal at Lakota and later as a principal in Norwood. Gary isn't just a statistic. The number represents lives that he has changed, future secured, and students who crossed the finish line because he refused to let them fall through the cracks. Gary should be extremely proud of his legacy. He couldn't make it. He was planning on making it tonight. Got held up, I think, on a vacation or something. So Gary Combs, 44 years altogether, and 19 of his last years here at New Richmond, and we are thankful that he has spent that time with us. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Jamie Kuntz for Monroe.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor to recognize the retirees from Monroe, and so I'd like to start with Mrs. Donna Ely. So if I could have you come up while I talk about you, that would be lovely. And like I said, it is my honor to celebrate Mrs. Ely as she begins her well-deserved retirement after years of faithfully serving the students at Monroe Elementary. Donna's impact has never been measured by titles or tasks. It has been seen in the quiet moments that mattered most: the encouragement she offered, the care she showed, and the relationships she built with the students each day. Donna brought warmth and patience, a genuine love for children that made our school a better place. When asking her about her favorite memories, she really enjoys the hugs from the kids at school, and that just seems to me, it just says it all. She found joy in the connection, and she created an environment where students felt cared for, valued, and loved. One of the things that stands out most about Donna is how deeply appreciated she really enjoyed being part of Monroe and the New Richmond family. And I think that seeing her granddaughter and grandson at school each day and watching her daughter-in-law in the classroom really made her time here especially meaningful. And it's clear that those relationships made this community feel like home. So as Donna begins this exciting next chapter, I am looking forward to hearing stories from her out on her new pontoon boat or riding on her Harley. I would love to, spend some time on Lake Winoka with you at some point. So Donna, thank you for the kindness, support, and joy that you brought to Monroe over the years. Your impact will be remembered far beyond the classroom, and we wish you endless sunshine, beautiful adventures, and every happiness in your retirement. And next, Mrs. Kelly Heckard, come on down. All right, so I have had the privilege of working with this young lady for the last 11 years, and I cannot tell you how many fun stories I have, but I will save some of those. So. After spanning lots of years in education, including 29 years serving in New Richmond, we celebrate and honor Kelly Heckard as she begins her well-deserved retirement. Kelly has made an impact on generations of students through her kindness, flexibility, positivity, unwavering commitment to children, and even her willingness to sometimes challenge her administrators to make sure we get it right. Throughout her career, she embraced opportunities to teach across multiple grade levels and settings, including grades 2, 3, 4, and 6, and even juniors and seniors at the Graduation Academy. So no matter the age group, Kelly had a special ability to build meaningful relationships and create classrooms where students felt supported and cared for. And they showed growth. No matter what, Kelly's classes and her students showed growth. So one of the things that I admire most about Kelly is her willingness to embrace change and continue growing throughout her career. Her openness to new experiences allowed her to connect with so many students and colleagues while bringing fresh energy to each new chapter. I think Camp Joy holds a special place in Kelly's heart, as with many of ours. And she really, really has her heart in what she does each day. And our school is going to be so different without her there. So as Kelly begins this next chapter and is looking forward to spending time doing what she loves most, I'm excited to hear about her travels and the adventures that she goes on with her family, especially with her husband, Marty. So Kelly, thank you for the countless lives you have impacted, the laughter you brought to our halls, and the dedication you have shown to both Monroe and the entire New Richmond community. Your legacy will live on through the students and families and colleagues, including myself, that we have been fortunate enough to learn and grow alongside you. Congratulations on an amazing career and best wishes for many adventures ahead. And when you look at retirement, it's going to be great. So thank you, Kelly.
Mr. Roach.
All right. Good evening, everyone. There are a lot of bells still up here. They are all for Locust Corner, I'm guessing. I don't know what that says about me that I have so many people that want to leave Locust Corner, but it's okay. Thank you. You would be hard pressed to ever find a collection of educators that have had as big of an impact on students in one school all retiring at the same time as what we have this year at Locust Corner. As the old saying goes, everyone is replaceable. But I'm not sure that that's true in this case when I really think about it. These 4 teachers have given a collective 118 years of service to our school district. And that is really quite remarkable. I'm very glad that so many of the families could come and colleagues. We've got some teachers here from Locust Corner, and I really appreciate all of you coming to wish these 4 farewell. Earlier this year in October, we said goodbye to Tina Rome. Just want to recognize her quickly. We did a very big send-off for her at Locust Corner, but she had an amazing 26-year career in New Richmond, 10 of which was at Locust Corner, and I could never dream of having such a wonderful head custodian as Tina Rome. So I just wanted to briefly just mention her because she was such a big part of our school. Each one of my speeches is about 15 minutes long, so we'll probably be here for about the next hour, and then we'll let the board, I'm just kidding. Let's start with Tim Cook. Where's Tim? Tim, come on down. All right. So Tim has spent almost his entire 32-year career teaching art in New Richmond. He started in 1995 at the old Pierce Elementary School, and that's 32 years of telling students that it's time to clean up. If you in the same room, that's remarkable. So if you calculate that out, I got the calculator out. He has asked students to clean up approximately 30,000 times, which is incredible. But seriously, Tim has been a rock for Locust Corner. He, along with Chris Schlock, who retired last school year, gave the school a consistency that most schools never experience over a 3-decade span. In all of my time at Locust Corner, I'm not sure that I have ever heard anyone say that they don't like art class. And let me tell you, that is not always the case at every school you go to. Tim's style allows his students to maximize their creativity and do projects with their own style and flair. Through countless district and school art shows and creative family art nights, Tim has always made sure that the arts stay an important part of the fabric of the district. So we want to congratulate Tim. Congratulations on a very well-deserved retirement. So. One of these bells is going to be yours. There we go. All right, number 2. I feel like I'm saying goodbye to the whole school here. This is crazy. Todd Jackson, if you want to come on up. Todd has taught for 30 years in New Richmond and has 32 years of experience overall, so almost his entire career, again, in New Richmond. These are lifers that we're saying goodbye to today. He started in New Richmond in 1996 during the final year at Pierce, correct? Yeah. So he was at Pierce 1 year, and then Locust Corner was built. Of course, Todd met his wife, Michelle, who's here tonight, at Locust Corner, and the two very quickly became the math teaching power couple of Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, where they would teach in the same hallway for over 2 decades. Todd is, of course, affectionately referred to by his students as Mr. J. Sometimes I forget that, and I always call him Mr. Jackson. Nobody there calls him Mr. Jackson except me, I think. Everybody calls you Mr. J. And as I mentioned, he was a longtime 4th grade math teacher before bravely trying a new path as our PE teacher for the final 3 years of his career. Of course, I had to do a lot of work to help Todd understand proper nutrition and physical fitness, but he is finally starting to get it. Todd, thank you. And if you need any nutritional advice in your retirement, please call. Thank you. Todd is the type of guy who will literally do anything to help the school. Not only will he do any duty with a smile, but he would be willing to, I would be willing to bet he is one of the only PE teachers in the county who also runs math intervention groups when he isn't teaching PE. And we are so thankful to Todd for his longstanding dedication and service to our school and to our district. So congratulations. All right, on to number 3. Jeff Durham, come on up. So another lifer, Jeff has spent his entire 32-year career in New Richmond. He transferred over to Locust Corner in 2006 after spending 12 years at New Richmond Middle School. I can honestly say that when it comes to developing relationships with students, and I mean this with all sincerity, very few do it as well as Jeff. His positivity and sense of humor are such that no one ever says they don't want to walk through his classroom door. And it's not just because he bribes them with donuts and dum-dums, which also happens, yes. He is also one of the most modest educators I know, as I could probably say the same thing about all of these, the 4 that we have tonight. And he is really a true professional. As for me, the thing I will miss most about Jeff is that whenever I'm trying to be serious in a staff meeting, he always has to lighten the mood and say something that gets everyone laughing. Always. And you're usually very funny. I have to give you credit. So it's going to be hard to see Jeff go, as it is everybody else, and just congratulations on your retirement. All right, and last but certainly not least, Nicole Parker, come on down. I feel so honored to be able to give your speech, Nicole, even though I only got to work with you for a short time. Oh, well, thank you. Nicole is completing her 34th year in education, in 25th year in New Richmond. She is completing her 4th school year at Locust Corner. After spending 21 years at New Richmond High School, Nicole made what should have been a very challenging transition to being a reading specialist look easy. I don't know how many people who have the ability to work with seniors in high school and kindergartners in their career and do it so seamlessly. And I really mean that. You never see that. No kindergarten teacher would feel comfortable working with seniors, and no person teaching seniors would be able to work with kindergartners like you do. Of course, Nicole was a longtime president for a teachers union and showed incredible leadership during that time. I can only imagine the countless number of thankless hours that she spent trying to resolve issues all around the district. I am sure that there were many days that she felt more like a lawyer than a teacher. Yeah. It would be impossible to quantify the impact that Nicole has had on this district through whether it be through her teaching, her coaching, her committee work, or her mentoring of other teachers. Nicole will always be a deep part of the fabric of this school district. So thank you, Nicole, for all that you've done to shape New Richmond into the school district that it is.
All right, we'd love to do some group photos. So we're going to bring all our retirees out, take a group photo, do a photo with the board. And so you look your best. We'll even turn the fans down so you don't look windswept. So Mr. Lang, if you would be our picture taker, we'd love that. So we'll start with all our retirees first and then a photo with the board.
I'm really feeling it. Oh.
I know, like, I always say I'm going to the back. I'll do that next time.
Awesome.
Go home, but you can't.
That's right, exactly.
Pauls will turn the fans back on.
I'd be fine. It'll get sticky fast.
It will.
I'm gonna get them heat up.
Yes,
I know,
sir.
it's gonna
It will
be-
get hot here quick.
There they go.
It won't take long. You kick them on. We're good. Dora.
I've got to hand it to these guys for only having a few hours to pivot from the initial game plan this morning and threw it together.
Yeah. Just pivoting from the theater.
The theater.
Yeah. That's where we're gonna be.
High school custodians have a way of doing that. They can make it happen. Garth plugging everything in didn't hurt. We probably forget. Here's for the audience members.
There's only going to be like 5.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That was good.
We need to have public participation.
Don't wish that on us.
I know, right?
Man, I heard about it. I'm going to have to go check it out. What are you talking about? What are you talking about that?
What a mess.
Tiffany, concert tickets in the summer?
Ready?
Not
You ready?
yet.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
ready.
We can talk over them.
Awesome. we will resume back to our regular board meeting. Appreciate all of our retirees. Thank you for their service to our district. And today, we're going to move into item number 6, public participation. I don't think we have anybody here to share. So we'll move quickly into item number 7, superintendent's report, please.
Yes. Good evening. Just a few updates tonight. Start with obviously we have made a large effort to keep employee recognition at the forefront of our work. Quick update on strategic planning. It's hard to believe as we wind down and get ready to celebrate the class of 2026. We really need to start thinking about starting the 26-27 school year. So we launched our employee back to school newsletter today, as well as our back to school guide, and then just an update on graduation. In the month of May, Mr. Floyd.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Just want to shout out we had our Claremont County Dinner of Excellence. That's where they choose 2 employees from every district. On our classified side, we were excited to celebrate Jimmy Hedrick. And on the certified side, we were excited to celebrate Mr. Pat Crowley. And if you follow us on Facebook, we have done a really good job of making sure that our retirees are spotlighted. The interaction has been great. Our goal now, I've challenged Mr. Shanklin as we onboard and bring new staff on. It would be nice throughout the summer to shout those folks on as they join us and become New Richmond Lions. Strategic planning, the goal this year as part of my evaluation was just to get started. I think we've accelerated beyond that. Happy to share that the focus groups have been completed. The student surveys, shout out to our elementary and middle school. They did an amazing job with our student surveys. And we've got some high school participation. And the staff culture survey launched today as part of the back to school newsletter. So I will give them friendly reminders to do that. Inside of that back to school newsletter is also sort of a short-term, where are we? So the staff knows where their focus groups, their information has led to and what it will be used for. So we continue to gather the information to really hone in on what are our goals and how will we measure those goals. In the back to school guide, the staff newsletter does include this year, as we support our staff, it does have the August list of events. So Friday, August 14th, August the 17th, Monday, and Tuesday, the August 18th. What's happening in each building. Our secondary and elementary ask for their days to look differently. Elementary would like to start with their workday, and secondary would like to really know what's going to be different in their building so that they can focus on that during their workday. Because our first day back with staff is a Friday, we really will have to make sure that our elementary meet the teacher is on Monday, and Tuesday, secondary meet the teacher. And one of the things we'll do is if our calendar aligns like this, we'll continue to flip those dates so that, one group isn't always having the students or their meet the teacher the night before school starts. Included in the back to school guide is our fee sheet that the board approved, or in the employee newsletter, the fee sheet, our back to school guide, our staff calendars. We're often asked, when does school start? Well, for me, so staff can do those. This is our full back to school guide. I have to give a shout out to Mr. Shanklin. It includes all the things that are, necessary for a family to be started for the year, as well as that all important school calendar. When are we here? When are we not here? And really tried to make sure if you are a family that's new to us or returning, that it's a one-stop shop for everything for the entire district. Also, as I mentioned, that strategic plan focus group update from Mr. Miles, the culture survey, and then I will let Mr. Floyd talk for a minute about what's included at the bottom there in terms of how he is going to do salary notices and contracts.
Yeah, so thank you. So as I mentioned, the new overall software we've adopted, SC View, does a lot of different things. So we initially got just our daily financial operations up and running with that. But as they've grown and kind of taken feedback from customer districts, they really are what I like about them is they'll customize and adapt to what we're wanting. So kind of like we're creating a one-stop shop with some of our things on the HR side. We're kind of embedding that in on what we're doing here. So as contracts typically come from the treasurer's office, we now have the ability to send those out via secure email links. So everything will be ready to go, and right as they are board approved, they go out with all the signatures on them all ready to go, and they can sign them electronically, date them, and then they come back electronically as well. And then those get archived into a digital personnel file for those folks. So we put together some guides of what that would look like, just so staff know what to expect, because those will be launching after they walk out on the last day. But they essentially get a email, they click a link. I put a pretty thorough guide in what to expect and a little key there. They've got their name, salary step information, depending on the type of contract. Already has our signatures baked in there for the board president and myself. And all they have to do is click there and sign. They can type their name, pick a fancy font, and click submit, and it goes right back to us. So it makes it about a 32-second process, and it's completely paperless. And we'll always have the ability to email copies of that out if they, for some reason, don't get that confirmation, because it will send them an emailed version of the fully signed document for their records too. So we'll have that all ready to go for newly hired staff and returning staff for new contracts, but also different salary notices and the supplemental contracts as well. So I'm really looking forward to launching that.
And then finally, it is a big weekend on campus. We are continuing to monitor the weather. So I really want our team here to be tight on our communication plan, our timelines, how the community can stay connected to us, and then most importantly, all decisions we make will be made with safety in mind. We want to have a productive, safe ceremony to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2026. That is my report this evening. Have I generated any questions?
Nope. Not here. But I think it goes to another highlight of our night of approval of the number 8 class of 2026 graduates on the agenda. So it's recommended the Board of Education approve the class of 2026 graduation candidates as presented.
So moved.
Jonathan's first.
I'll
A motion. Second, Amy. Any discussion? There was a rumor that the Zimmerman boy needed to be pulled out tonight. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. He convinced me not to.
He convinced me not to. Okay, good. Well, we'll let it stand as presented. Any other discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Dufaw,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Awesome. Item number 9, field trip approval. And recommend the Board of Education approve a multi-night field trip for a New Richmond High School Skills USA Ohio Championship student to travel to Atlanta, Georgia, June 1st through the 6th, 2026. Chaperones and expenses are provided by the Grant Career Center. Motion, please.
Also move.
All right, Tim, second.
I'll second.
All right, Amy, any discussion here? No? All right, roll call, please.
All right, Mr. Dufaw,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Item number 10, National School Lunch Program. Recommend the Board of Education approve the contract for the National School Lunch Program, School Food Authority vended meal agreement as presented. Need a motion, please.
So moved.
Jonathan, second.
I'll second.
All right, Tim. Any discussion here? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Dufaw,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Abstain.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. All right, item number 11, establishment of lunch prices for the 2026-2027 school year. So it's recommended the Board of Education establish lunch prices for the 26-27 school year as presented. K-5, 6 through 12, and adults. Any motion, please?
So moved.
All right, Amy, second.
Second.
All right, Jonathan, any discussion here? All right, you guys are quiet tonight.
I know.
That's
We're
pretty
moving.
good. All right. Let's roll call, please.
All right, Mr. Dufaw,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 12, recommend the Board of Education approve the 4-year 27 administrator salary schedule as presented. Motion, please. All right, Mindy, I'll second it. Any discussion here?
May I interject?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure for the public's sake that the administrator's salary increase in their schedule matches that of the NRTO salary. So that is the practice of this district, and they do not receive more than that negotiated agreement. In NRTO, they actually build that over the 3 years of the contract. We just update it annually here. So just wanted that to be publicly noted, that position isn't guaranteed more than what's negotiated for our teachers.
Yeah, good clarification. Appreciate that. Any other discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Dufaw,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Abstain.
All right, item 13, treasury report and action items. Sir?
All right. We'll be short and sweet this evening, so we're just getting ramped up for the fiscal year end, so the calm before the storm. So just a quick overview, we've got our prior meeting minutes as usual. We'll talk about the highlights of the April financial reports, a few donations this evening, just rehashing some fiscal year ending procedures, some formalities, because again, there's some software moves I have to make in order to produce the reports to allow you to approve in June. We have 2 then and now invoices that I will go through when we get to that spot, and then approval of updated appropriations in the 412 certificate. So for the then and nows, one was for the torch prep, it's an ACT testing. It was actually confusion on my part. They actually did 2 rounds of that, so it was the exact same price both times. So I thought it was like a duplicate request, so I just denied it, and then they had to move forward with the testing anyway, so I'll take that one. And then the second was actually for yearbook. We were kind of getting the lay of the land of the invoicing structure, so we actually had a meeting with Mr. Lang and the yearbook rep today to get those things ironed out. So they actually had all the cash on hand. It was just, again, PO after an invoice thing, but as we move forward, we now get the flow that for this school year's yearbooks, they'll be invoicing us in the fall. So there's just a little bit of confusion on the timing there. But they do have cash on hand, and I did learn that we do a lot of direct sales online, so we're not having to take a lot of cash at the building, which is really great for us, and then they just apply that towards the final bill that we get. So that was a nice and easy one to just get ironed out here. And then appropriations, I typically do this in May just to do a tune-up to make sure what we forecasted is matching what's in the system, but we've also had some new grant funds awarded to us, so we always have to appropriate those in order to spend those ahead of time. Most of that being the kindergarten boot camp, so we had to increase that particular fund by the 60 grand we got awarded. And then the 412 certificate, as I mentioned in the update, that's just, again, that secondary piece of documentation to show that the board has been presented with all those appropriations and they were approved as such. And those are typically items they'll ask for in audit anytime they see that we've updated these. So that would be a compliance cleanup piece as we move forward. So using my OASBO takeaways with Gemini and AI to create some one-pagers again. So as we look at the forecast, I kind of joked about the roller coaster I get to ride a lot. So we're looking at just a 1% unfavorable or higher variance than forecasted on the expense side. The bulk of this is due to the fact that we'll need to likely advance out to food service as we talked about at the work session. So they're still sitting right at that 210,000 mark there. We've done some actual transfers out as well. So that's really the main driver of the variance in that category there. On the revenue side, this has been the biggest roller coaster thus far. So as we saw, we got that late, or we initially thought we under collected on our real estate taxes. Then got information that there was a late payment. I was initially told from the auditor's office we'd only get about 80 or 90,000 of that. And then they mentioned, hey, we actually saw a few more parcels included that go to you. So that went from 80 to 275,000 that they just sent us this month. So that's the world I get to live in when we get new information on the daily basis. So That was obviously a good surprise, so that pretty much completely closed the revenue variance on the forecast. So I was really happy to see that and get that to 0.11% from what we projected from February. So really spot on with the revenue projections there. And then again, just to kind of compare our ending cash from this April to last April. So again, this year we're lower than last year, but keep in mind we did do those advances early in the year and are spending that down, whereas typically settlements were hitting in April in full in prior years. So that's a big driver of the variance there. But again, as you look at that month-to-month cash ending, we are spending down those savings as we've kind of been mentioning in all of our public comments. So that still holds true. It's just in a different little subsect of times where we get those cash infusions there. And then investments, still not doing as well as we did last year. Again, the rates are well below the 5% range that they were at that time. We are still doing those monthly cash requests from our grant funds to just get those monies back in there. And as I mentioned in the most recent board update, we are going to move those money market funds with Fifth Third over to Red Tree to get those more aggressively invested over a longer period of time with a higher return. And I think I mentioned too, what I like about them is they're actually starting to project out the monthly interest that they think the portfolio should earn for us. So Star will still remain liquid and available. That's what we generally pull from to meet payroll. Red Tree, just gonna let it, set it, forget it, and let it do its thing. So that's all I have as far as my items. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything that was in there. Have I generated any questions? To quote Mr. Daniels.
All right, no questions. It's recommended the Board of Education approve items 13A through 13F. A motion, all right, Tim, second?
I will.
All right, Mindy, any discussion? The treasure report tonight? No? All right, roll call, please.
All right, Mr. Dufault?
Yes.
Ms. Grazer?
Yes.
Ms. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Wooten?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Item 14, human resource items.
It is May, so it is a heavy month for contract recommendations across all of our employee groups. So we'll start tonight with resignations. We are thankful for the service of Hannah Goodman, Addie Gerard, Brian Pitzer, and Carly Devers. I do want to make sure you are aware I continue to do exit interviews year by year. Had two really great conversations today. Grateful for Addie, and I will get Brian scheduled. Carly Devers popped in today. You'll see that's a change. Carly's actually going to work summer boot camp as part of the grant through the Ohio Department of Education Workforce. She's actually going back to school, but she is going to stay with us until the fall. So we're glad to have her to help us with boot camp. As we discussed in the work session, it's always easier to hire folks who have some licensure, pending licensure as long-term subs first, instead of flipping them from a licensed to a non-licensed staff member. Excited to welcome Caleb Taylor back for year 2, stepped into a role at the middle school, and excited to welcome Crew Berkeley in the place of Travis Springer. We have one substitute classified employee, item C, that will be for summer support and summer work. We have plenty of that and to cover absences. It always is helpful to have that. And then a recommendation tonight to move one of our mechanics to a head mechanic stipend, $3 per hour effective July 1, 2026, and that is in their OPSI contract. As you know, the track meet is this week. The district does not pay for these. This is what we call pass-through funds. So it's recommended that the Board of Education in item E approve the spring 2026 OHSAA district track staff at the following rates. That authorizes the treasurer to be able to pay that money from OHSAA to those folks. As we've talked about, reducing our administrative expenses and looking for ways to staff the district differently. It was a challenge that the board asked me to take on to create a high school dean position here, which is not an administrative position. It is not inside of the teachers union. It is an exempt employee that does not get any of the benefits of pickup on pickup or any of that, which is a significant savings to the $40,000 range to the district. So that is here along with the salary scale. You have your administrative contract recommendations. So Mr. Roach was at the end of a 2-year, as well as Mr. Shanklin. We did offer, as Mr. Wolf, a 1-year, and I am thankful and happy to share with you that he has definitely earned his 2-year contract. And then tonight, I'm recommending to you a new 2-year contract for Dr. Jamie Kuntz to step into the middle school as the new principal. We have 1-year certified contracts here. Those are all the folks that are in those areas. And then we do have 2 new hires in there, Gracie Blazingame, who will join Monroe Elementary at 2nd grade, and Hannah Smith, who will return back to one of our moderate to intense classrooms at Monroe. She received her license this week. We are excited to have her back. So that is the list of staff members eligible for their next 1 year. Exempt contracts, we have a nurse there, continuing contract, and then 2-year contracts for Ms. Henderson, Ellie Powers, Dawn Gibson, and Barb Bauer. Then classified. You will see, I just want the public, I want to call out continuing contracts. In the classified employee group, those are negotiated. They are different than in the certified, where maybe you have to be at a certain level or have earned a certain step. Those are granted, and it does not affect any type of, if there is an issue with employment, that continuing contract can be null and void, and they can be terminated. Just that's why there's so many there. And then you have 2-year contracts, and then 1 year. So we had a couple that were misgiven last year, is the best way I can say it. So we need to retroactive them correctly. I do want you to know we put many steps in place this year to go over contracts, meeting with principals, meeting with directors, making sure we have them on the correct step. And I know Mr. Floyd is working hard on some behind the scenes work, so it won't have to be so labor intensive by hand and by data entry. So we're working on that. So those are items 14A through 14J. Happy to take any questions.
Not here. Any questions? Back to my meeting here. For some reason, I locked up. No idea. It's okay. All right, recommend the Board of Education approve items 14A through 14J. Need a motion, please.
So moved.
Amy, second?
Second.
All right, John, all right, we'll give it to Mindy. Any discussions here? In the board, no discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Dufault,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, motion carried. Item 15, 2-year certified contract.
It's as it reads.
I have no idea what's on my system here. Why is it going to be? Zipper? I can't read that at all. Jeez, oh, peas. I have no idea what's happening. My system is locked up. Yep, do that. All right. So recommend Board of Education approve following certified contract recommendations effective July 1st, 2026. Need a motion, please.
So moved.
All right, Jonathan, second.
I'll second.
Amy, any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Dufault,
No.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
All right, motion carried. All right, item number 16, let's see if my system will work here, Amy. We'll move back, get back on schedule here. Item 16. All right, this is Nourishment Middle School Assistant Principal.
I'm excited tonight to announce that one of our very own, through a scripted process that evaluated all candidates, will be recommended to you this evening to become the new assistant principal at Milford. Or goodness gracious, my first time all year. Do you know how hard I've worked?
You get one, that's all you get, one. Just get one.
Better now than Friday.
Get better now on Friday, right?
I'm excited to, we talk a lot about, we do a really good job of growing our own teachers, taking folks who may be alternatively certified to become either a special education, a math, or a science teacher. I think that we should be investing in our own when we have administrative positions. If you go back through the New Richmond Middle School, you will see that the position there has been somewhat, it's been transient, and our goal is to stop that process. That came from some listening with our staff. So I am excited to announce tonight with your board approval that Mrs. Meredith Zimmerman will be the next assistant principal at New Richmond Middle School.
Awesome, thank you. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the following 2-year administrative contract for Meredith Zimmerman, step 6 at New Richmond Middle School. Need a motion, please.
So moved.
All right, Tim, second.
I will.
All right, Mindy. Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Dufaw,
Yes.
Ms. Grazer,
Yes.
Ms. Story,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes,
Mr. Zimmerman.
Abstain.
motion carried. All right, item 17, open board discussion. Anything at all from the board?
So we're gonna get
Pray for
community.
no rain.
Yeah, pray for no rain, but we want to just kind of explain what will people get, or are we gonna send out? I know
Yeah,
you
so-
mentioned it, but just maybe give a little detail.
On Thursday, we will have a team meeting here at 2 o'clock. I tend to look at these weather events in 24-hour windows. It's sort of something I learned with snow days. I will tell you the very last snow day, it was impending doom, and we had meetings to talk about remote learning and remote learning plans and sending home devices and having schedules, and lo and behold, it was a beautiful day. So we will meet at 2 o'clock on Thursday, and the point of that meeting will be to, first, we have to coordinate with first responders. We hire details to help us with traffic, and we will need to make sure that they are able, depending on our timeline, to meet those changes. I do know that we do delay until a certain point, and then we decide that it flips to the next day. The challenge we have is track. We do host the Saturday district track meet, but we don't host 2 of them this year. We only host 1. So back to your original question, Thursday evening, our goal is by about 4 or 5 o'clock, everyone that has a graduating senior will receive an email through our ThrillShare system, and it will detail all the places that the information will be posted. It will be posted on our district Facebook page. It will be posted through email. And our goal is to make sure for each of those days that there's a timeline for decisions. We do know we feel horrible about postponing if we need to, because families plan events. They have folks coming from out of town. But we will just continue to watch this. We will be effective communicators, and folks will know the email that, their children will get the email, their parents will get the email, and it will be on our Facebook page. So we will do our very best to adjust and make sure that it is a meaningful event for the kids, but we will have a very clear, concise communication plan rolled out Thursday afternoon.
And thanks for the retiree recognition.
That's
I
great.
think that was very nice.
Very nice, good touch.
I would take that a step further and say thanks for a good year. It's not often that you're in a bunch of retirees who have lived through a lot in this district, and they're all coming up saying this was a great year. So
Yep.
thank you for materializing a lot of the changes that we have all been asking for, especially the recognition and forward thinking around how we get input in the district for kids, for staff, and for our community. And I know we're just at the beginning of that. So, thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Very nice. Anything else for the board tonight? All right, I think it's Tim's favorite spot in the agenda. Motion.
Should I
Item
can copy
18,
and paste
adjournment.
these
Tim
now?
made
Should I just paste it with you as the motion for every time?
Tim made the motion, any second?
Second.
All right, Jonathan, any discussion about adjourning tonight? I don't think so. All right, motion, please.
All right.
I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Mr. Dufaw.
Yes.
Ms. Grazer.
Yes.
Ms. Story.
Yes.
Mr. Wooten.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Wonderful. Have a great night, everyone.
Put it on one.
See you next month.
We do have the option on